Welcome, everybody, to Inside the Rink. All you great hockey fans watching us here on ESPN in Australia and New Zealand. I'm Ardo Cal with the great Hillary Knight, Olympic gold medalist, multiple-time world champion. And look at the notes. This is the most amount of notes I've ever seen any analyst write for one game. What is that, like 30 pages on foolscap?
30 pages in the front. I think I have 6 left in the back.
Unbelievable. You're going to have to get through a few of those as we go through the highlight of game number 5. Nazem Kadri and the Avalanche looking to win the Stanley Cup at home. The Tampa Bay Lightning, back-to-back defending champs, looking to keep the series alive. Jan Rutta, first period. That shot is 153 kilometers an hour.
That was a laser beam to the back of the net. I think the puck had a magnet. That should be a class on how to take a clapper from the strong side there.
That was on page 11 of your notes, I believe?
Definitely page 11.
Rutta's third career playoff goal in 48 career playoff games. Second period, same score. 5 minutes in, Avalanche win the faceoff. Cale Makar, shot comes off Vasilevsky, and there's Val Nichushkin.
Solid face-off set play to win. Cale Makar getting the puck through. And good things happen when you go to the net. It doesn't matter how you score, it's just how many you score. And Nichushkin is putting the puck in the back of the net a lot these days.
Yep, 6th goal in his last 7 playoff games. Like you said, 4-on-3 power play now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Watch Nikita Kucherov gets the puck. That's a laser.
Laser to the back of the net from Kucherov. Sizzles it right past the goaltender. Honestly, this play starts off with Steven Stamkos making that fake slap shot to feed it right back to Kucherov. And look how much energy he gets into that puck.
Yeah, that stick bends. That stick bends indeed. 8th goal of the playoffs for Kucherov. 6 of the 8 have been on the power play. That's the first 4-on-3 goal this postseason. Third period, Avalanche and Tampa Bay zone. Nichushkin back at it again. Passes to Devon Toews. Gives it to Cale Makar. Shot comes off Vasilevsky and then off a leg and in.
Cale Makar is just finding ways to get the puck through. I think that was a challenge at the beginning of the series, and now he's finding the back of the net. Fortunately, we get a good bounce here. You have to get a good bounce against a great goaltender. Goes
off the Tampa player's leg and in. Makar now has 29 points. Only 3 defensemen have had 30 or more points in a single postseason. But tied at 2, no longer. Tampa finds the back of the net. It's Andre Palat.
Who other than Palat to be strong side in the slot there, short side in the slot there, to have a one-timer opportunity to seal this game.
He beats Darcy Kemper between the legs. Palat's now scored 7 goals in the third period, most of any player this postseason. 3-2 your final. The Tampa Bay Lightning stay alive, so this series goes to Game 6 in Tampa. So a lot of people expected Colorado to win this game, especially after that overtime victory by the Avalanche last game. How did Tampa pull it off?
Well, it would have been a storybook ending, right, if Colorado pulled this off on home ice in front of hometown fans. But the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to duck Colorado's speed. Colorado Avalanche are a fast team. They were able to keep them to the outside, force the perimeter, and then really emphasize getting down the barrel, the center of the ice, to take advantage of those soft area plays to find the back of the net.
They were really able to command a lot of that ice to basically dictate the play of game to how they wanted to play.
Absolutely, and that was one of the big key points, I would say, if I were in the Tampa Bay Lightning locker room, is to make sure that I'm trying to slow down the Avalanche, get a body in front of them, get them frustrated, and then go north with the puck, play in the offensive zone, make sure that we can pull them apart, manipulate their coverage, and find the middle of the ice to get ourselves great opportunities.
Now, speaking of manipulation, we can talk about Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning every single game, because manipulation, mind games, that's what he does well. You saw the goal he scored, absolute laser, but what did you notice about his deception in this game?
Well, deception's a key word. He lulls you into your coverage, makes you gap up, and then he's 3 steps ahead of you in where he's going to place the puck. And sometimes his teammates don't even know where he's placing the puck. He puts them in good positions to make a play. And that's what you want from a leader on your team, a guy that's scoring goals, making plays. He's doing it all. And he's going to be an X factor for the Tampa Bay Lightning moving forward.
Now, You know the saying, everyone's playing checkers and he's playing chess. It often feels like that when Kucherov is on the ice. How about Andre Palat, though? I mean, he seems to show up in the third period. He seems to be where he needs to be and contributes when Tampa need him the most.
And that's what a leader does. I think Palat's one of those guys who's going in the corners, he's making plays. And what we see tonight, and a lot of the times in the third period, is Palat finding a nice soft area and getting rewarded for all of his hard work that he's put in the 40 minutes prior. He's one of those guys that, he's playing on a line with Steven Stamkos and Nikita Kucherov. And those are two superstar players.
You have to step up.
You have to step up, but he's another name that you can throw into the mix who's equally as talented.
Okay, we take a look at this. This is incredible. Showing up when you need it the most, Andre Palat has 7 third-period goals this postseason. In the last 25 seasons, nobody has had more, and that is quite the list right there. So, Game 5 goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They stay alive in this series. Game 6 shifts back to Tampa, Florida, 10 a.m. on ESPN. And then afterwards, you can find us inside the rink. Wait, where?
Primetime.
Primetime.
Nathan Walker from Wales, growing up in Australia. Quite the story.
That Walker that walked in?
Yeah.
And he scores! Oh my goodness. The Aussie has done it again!
His first career hat trick.
We are absolutely pleased here on Inside the Rink on ESPN Australia and New Zealand to welcome the NHL's only Australian hockey player. He's a forward for the St. Louis Blues and former Stanley Cup champion, Nathan Walker, who also happens to be right now in Sydney, Australia, enjoying that home time away from the rink. Nathan, how has the summer been so far? Or winter, I should say.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Obviously getting the time to kind of take a step away from hockey and spend time with the family is always a good thing, and kind of mentally and physically recharge for a new season coming up.
Before we talk about your play this season and your journey in the NHL, I'd love to hear about your journey discovering hockey. You moved to Australia when you were 2 years old. When did hockey come into your life?
I think I was roughly around 4 or 5 or so, and we just went to a local rink, my brother and I, and there was a D-League happening, and we just wanted to give it a go, and then kind of from there is when it all kick-started, and we both fell in love with the game from there.
I know a lot of people in North America, when they play hockey, their dreams are to make it to the NHL, raise the Stanley Cup. What were your dreams like in hockey growing up?
Eventually it's the same thing, but obviously starting, you just want to play the game because you love the game so much and it's fun. And then as you start becoming a bit more competitive through it all, you realize that there could be a chance to possibly, make a career out of it.
So you played in Australia, you make your way to Europe. At what point did you realize, you know what, I could really make a go of this and play professionally and, perhaps make the NHL one day?
I think when I went over to Czech Republic and had a chance to play against kids that were my own age and a little bit older and, get to be on the ice every single day and play, 50-plus games, I think from there is when I really wanted to, become a pro and, try and obviously make the NHL and if not, try to do my best to have a good career in the minor leagues or something like that. And, I think once I got to Czech and played against all those players, I think that's when I really found out, that I wanted to play professional hockey.
So you eventually make it to the NHL. It's quite the journey to get there. Can you describe your first game?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was at home with Washington. We were playing Montreal actually, and before the game it was obviously season opener, home opener as well. So we did all the red carpet before that. The build up was really cool because for me it was not only my first NHL game but the first game for the team as well. So it was all the hype around that, and it was great. I mean, I had so much fun with it. The guys on the team were so much fun to play with, and I just loved every bit about it.
We just showed your first NHL goal. I believe that's your mother in attendance there. What do you remember from that goal?
Not much. Just trying to get a box out on the winger there, trying to get out. And lucky enough, the puck managed to ricochet off my backside and go in. So it was, you obviously picture yourself scoring a nice goal, but I think you'll take any goal you can when it's your first one.
So of course you end up going to the playoffs with the Washington Capitals. You end up winning the Stanley Cup. That was a big moment for Washington, of course, what they've endured as a franchise. But here you are, the only Australian player ever in the NHL, and you're hoisting the Stanley Cup. What do you remember from those moments?
To be honest, not much. As a kid, you dream about that your whole life, being able to lift that trophy over your head. And I don't want to say I blacked out, but you almost just go blank, and you don't really you don't realize kind of what you're doing until you take a step back and have a look around you. What's going on?
So now let's fast forward. You're with the St. Louis Blues. You have a great season. You go to the postseason. You actually played the Colorado Avalanche, who are in the Stanley Cup now. How do you look back on this season with the Blues?
It was good. I mean, obviously, it was the most games I've played in a season, which I think is a positive, and set a career high in goals, assists, and games played. So I can take that as a positive and just move forward and obviously try to play more games next year and produce a little more and just kind of try and take that next step.
So last question for you here, Nathan, on Inside the Rink here in ESPN, Australia, New Zealand. You are obviously an ambassador for hockey in Australia around the world. You are the shining example of a player that can make it to the NHL, growing up in Australia. What would you like to see the hockey scene become in Australia and New Zealand?
I could probably go on a lot of things here. I've been fortunate enough to play hockey in the Czech Republic and the States now, so I've kind of been around a lot and seen how different people do things and encourage kids to play and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that kind of goes into it, but it's at the end of the day, I think it's it's getting games on TV, it's getting more practice, it's getting more rinks. There's a lot I think that can be done. But I think the climate and the culture of Australia is it's a lot easier to go to a sports store and grab a rugby ball and some boots than it is to go to a sports store and grab ice hockey skates and sticks and helmets and gloves. So I think that kind of plays into it too. And then obviously the climate. Like I said earlier too, it's a winter's day today and it's 21 degrees Celsius. So it's, it is a lot easier to be outside kicking the footy than to be inside on a nice day like this.
I would much rather it be a winter day and be 21 degrees Celsius. Sign me up for that, Nathan. That's incredible. Nathan, you've been great with your time. I know it's your off season. This is your time off, and you've been gracious enough to join us here on Inside the Rink here on ESPN Australia and New Zealand. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much for having me.
So back to the Stanley Cup Final now. Game 6 in Tampa. Kind of feels like Colorado, it was their series to win in Denver. Now Tampa has life. They might have the momentum. Who would you say has the advantage going into this next game?
I would always say the team with most games in hand has the advantage. But on the flip side of that, the team with less games, Tampa Bay Lightning, has nothing to lose. So why not go out there, throw everything you have, and continue the series?
Yeah, and they certainly did that. They were able to take game number 5. They were able to keep the series alive, and now they're at home in front of their hometown crowd, able to do the same thing, perhaps push to a game 7 back in Denver. What adjustments are you looking for on both sides?
Well, we can talk about the technicals of the speed. Tampa trying to shut down the Colorado Avalanche rushes. Colorado Avalanche getting more pucks through, getting more pucks, making it messy and weird in front of Vasilevsky. But really what it's going to come down to is the will to win. Can you close a series out on visiting ice? Can you gun out another game against the Colorado Avalanche, who are looking great? I mean, we've seen a great series so far, and it's just going to come down to who wants it more.
Would love your reaction to this quote. This is what John Cooper, Lightning coach, said after the game. Look at this series. Was it meant to go 6 or 7? Damn right it was. It's 2 damn good hockey teams.
They are 2 damn good hockey teams, and that's great for us hockey fans.
Yes.
We get to cover phenomenal games, but that's what it comes down to, these big moments. That's why we get potentially 7 Stanley Cup games to find the best team to win the Stanley Cup.
There's only one team in NHL history that has come back from a 3-1 series deficit to go on to win the Stanley Cup. It was in 1942, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were actually down 3-0. Let's see if Tampa can continue it, force a Game 7, or will the cup be raised in Tampa in Game 6? And of course, you will find us inside the rink. Thanks for watching.